Other problems require modern solutions. And violence is one of them. It's fine. Yeah, my whole insurance is probably going to involve
Podcast. Oh,
I thought you were using a different mic.
I'm back. Welcome to Acquired Taste Podcast. We are back.
There we go.
It's your boy Dirty D.
It's your boy Tech Daddy.
Dabba, do.
I mean, B was really upset about that for some reason. I do not understand why.
I don't know, but that's why I'm sticking with it.
But it is
strictly Hanna-Barbera greetings from here on out.
Okay, so next week it should be Captain Caveman. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I was raised on Hanna-Barbera cartoons. It was a fantastic time of my life. Anyways, yeah, welcome to Acquired Taste Podcast. We're back. If you're new to the podcast, thanks for checking us out. We do a lot of history, mystery, music sometimes, and today's going to be a history one. So I hope you are ready for it. We usually do a little bit of banter at the beginning of the episode, so give us about 15 minutes, and we'll have that out of our system and get to the topic. So stick around if you want to, or fast forward. That's really up to you. Normally DJ has a question for us.
Don't fast forward. DJ's here and I'm going to be mean to him.
It has been a while, actually.
It has been a while.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Let me tell you all the ways you've displeased me.
Let's get it going.
Oh, jeez. Anyways.
We bonded over Seinfeld. I can't be that upset with him right
That's
now.
true. We had a lot of conversation before we started recording today.
Little powwow.
It was good. It was good for sure. If you're a returning listener, though, thanks for sticking with us. We've made it 3 years now. We actually pretty much tripled our listeners in the past few weeks, which is really cool. So if you are new, thanks for checking us out. If you did share us, thanks for sharing us. Not sure how it happened, but we do appreciate it. So thank you for that. And Ben has a monster. That's cool. We're not sponsored by them yet, so
Pop the top. I'll turn it sideways.
it says it on the back.
And like we're a big deal, start putting post-it notes over.
Yeah, okay. Jeez.
We need to get Required Taste koozies.
I can make that happen.
Just put those over there for them,
I can make that happen.
It's kind of bad that we didn't think of that first.
It's fine. I'll fix this issue.
That's actually a thing.
I'll fix this issue. So yeah, if you are a new listener, by the way, we do have social media, so follow us there for any new episodes, updates, whatnot. I created a website, so requiredtastepodcast.com. It not only has our episodes, it has our videos, and it also has our merch on there too. So all that in one place now instead of everywhere else like it was before.
Speaking for the adopted portion of the podcast, we have a home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it costs money, which is a whole nother issue. But yeah, so again, returning listeners, we appreciate you sticking with us over these years. Thanks for giving us the love. Thanks for giving us the shares. We do appreciate it. As per usual, we get your forehead kisses. Nice.
I made eye contact. I looked right at the camera when I did it, and I was like, ooh, I shouldn't have did that.
You're going to get somebody pregnant.
Ooh.
You're going to be on the list.
Nope.
Or that. That's the secondary idea.
DJ Red Dot, however the fuck you say your last name.
Okay.
Could you try it? Give it a...
Ascona.
Oh, he got it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to make fun. I know how to say your last name.
I wrote, at work, I have my own little creeper chair, and it just says Ascona, but I spell ass in quotations.
I'm surprised you didn't draw a dick on it.
No, I drew a badass little Onya, an Onya skull on it. Yeah, just because I was bored.
Yeah, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. So, yeah, that was... oh, by the way, speaking of forehead kisses, I was talking to Mikey for Foreign Local the other day. They're coming back in a month, 2 months.
Yeah, they're doing his opening thing, which is awesome. I forgot the dates with that. We should have looked that up.
Oh yeah, I should have looked that up. It was on the Facebooks. But yeah, they're officially going to be opening in a few months still. So
yeah, they're on Kennedy Avenue, right there in what you call the downtown portion of Hessville. Mm-hmm. So there's Hammond, Indiana, but Hessville is a little section of it.
It's a subsection of it.
That has its own little downtown area. Yeah, and the mayor McDermott has been doing a lot over the past couple of years, trying to make it look as such.
Yeah, revitalize the area.
So he's got a great location now, and I think he's going to do really well there.
I think so too. It's infinitely closer than where it was
I was
before
just
too.
going to say a hell of a lot closer.
Yeah, that part excites me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's closer, and I think there's a bigger parking lot too, which
Yeah,
is
he was like before he was smack dab in between a huge mega Baptist church and a police station.
The Baptist Church.
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
Like the one that has a documentary
Yeah, there's
on
literally
it.
a documentary
on
about
Hulu.
Yep.
Or at least it was on Hulu. I don't know if it was there.
Yeah, it was
but
Hulu or,
that's where I
or
watched.
Prime,
I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know if it was Hulu's.
Yeah.
But
We have not covered that.
we should.
We should eventually get
Yeah.
over that.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, that's
that was eye opening
yeah.
because I did not know. I knew what I knew about the actual church, like the physical church here. I didn't know about the legs it had
Yeah, it's
until
pretty
I
big.
watched that documentary, the network that it has. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Hammond First Baptist, for anybody that's curious about what the hell we're talking
Right.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, in between smack dab between a possible cult, a brewery, and a
Yeah.
train track.
The church is literally like the size of the whole block.
That's massive.
It is a block.
It's a
essentially.
beautiful building.
You know.
That's a real sad part too.
Yeah.
True.
It's
yeah.
a beautiful building.
True. But yeah, so what we got going on, man? What's your question for the day, dude?
Oh yeah, I thought about this just because I watched this movie recently. What was your guys' favorite non-animated childhood movie?
I'm getting so sick of your favorite questions.
Fair enough.
Like,
I mean,
Well, what's your fucking question, Ben? Huh? You got something in your sleeve?
yeah.
Huh?
Why you? Of all the motherfuckers in the world, why you?
Why not? Yeah.
Asked and answered.
I'm a glass half full kind of guy.
Oh man. So I actually like when you first asked the question, I'm just gonna go with the first movie that came to my mind. Little Giants.
Ooh, fucking love Little Giants.
Good movie. It's a good movie.
Well, when he writes that crazy fucking play and he's like, I call this one the annexation of Puerto Rico.
Yep.
That fucking super genius nerd kid.
Yep.
I'm gonna say, as much as I want to say Batman or the typical things, I feel like, and this could change 5 minutes from now, but just on playback, I feel like I was unhealthily obsessed with the Guyver. Anybody? You probably do. Yeah.
I'm familiar with Guyver, yeah.
Yeah, and you saw the live action.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's a live action movie based on an anime that I didn't see until I was much older. But
Oh.
Yeah, because the anime's from like what, the 80s, I think?
I mean, the movie was from the 80s.
So yeah,
So-
like Guyver is a
The
very
original,
old anime.
The original movie, I should
Very, very old anime.
Oh, wow.
say. Yeah. So I mean, my answer might change, but for the sake of giving an original answer, I'll at least say that. I know I was obsessed with it.
Oh, dude, like, because there's not many people I know that would have even known that reference. Like, I love old anime. I mean, that's what I grew up
Yeah.
on. So that the live action of that was pretty
That
cool.
movie was so disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely didn't see that.
Yeah. It's,
My favorite, I have a lot of thoughts on.
Okay.
And I just watched this. I probably like every couple of years, this movie will pop up and I watched it recently. It's Drop Dead Fred.
I fucking hate that movie.
God, dude. I love
There's nothing.
Drop Dead
There's
Fred.
nothing wrong with the movie. There's nothing wrong with the movie. I just hate the hype around it. Like that's all it.
You know
there's
what's crazy
Nothing
is, like,
wrong with the movie itself.
There's not many people I talk to who are like, I've seen Drop Dead Fred.
Yeah, I watched it with an ex because she was obsessed with it because she grew up with it, and
Oh, it's every
yeah,
girl that's like,
well,
you know,
and puberty had just happened, so of course, yeah, we'll watch whatever the fuck you want.
that movie is that dude is such a menace. And I was thinking about it. I was like, you couldn't do Drop Dead Fred unless it was like an upper class white family. You couldn't do Drop Dead Fred. Like Mexican kids didn't have imaginary friends. They had the fucking chancla that you got the shit beat out of you with if you didn't listen, Like same thing with like black kids. There was just no fucking imaginary friends. There's none of that. Like you come in, like if you fucking threw paint on the fucking like an employee,
Okay.
and your mom came up to you and was like, "What?" She beat the fuck out of you.
In public, yeah.
in public,
There's
you know?
a difference between Hollywood white and everyday white.
Well, do you remember the house that they lived in? Like it was literally
Not especially well.
only child and 2 parents, and this was like a fucking.
I'm just telling you, I got my ass whooped, and I'm liquid paper white.
That's true, but you were also
But were you fucking like carrying dog shit onto brand new carpet into the house?
course
That's what I mean.
Of
Like
course
this
not,
kid
yeah.
was like a fucking menace. So like you couldn't do that like in like a Mexican household. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Like,
you were damn near a redheaded stepchild. I don't know what you're talking about here, dude. Like you are one step away
have
from
no
that, dude.
experience in this.
Like, what do you... Like, there's literally a phrase about being beaten like a redheaded stepchild. Like, yeah, of course you were beat, man. You were also abandoned. Like,
I wasn't a stepchild. I was adopted.
that's why I said you were a step away.
this is why he doesn't like the movie.
That's why I made the reference to that. Like, yeah, dude, I knew you were abandoned as a child. So fuck what? Get over it.
Love you, Barb.
Yeah, well, it's like your mother actually listens to that. Yeah, hi, Barb.
Also, do you remember the actress who played Princess Leia was in that movie? Drop Dead Fred?
That I did not.
She was the main character's best friend on
Carrie
the
Fisher.
houseboat. Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It still blows my mind anytime I see watch Blues Brothers and have to remember she was in that.
That's right.
I forgot she was in that.
Yeah, she was the one hunting both of them down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it made me think though,
memory.
because like Drop Dead Fred was after fucking, Star Wars and all that. And the role she played was like,
That was
small
That was
character.
Mark Hamill's in the Guyver,
Yeah.
and they used his name to kind of project that movie, and he's just a bit part in it.
Yeah.
He's just a bit. He's not even the main character.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I want to look up commercials for Drop Dead Fred just to see if they were like Carrie Fisher. Starring Carrie Fisher.
I do wish trailers still happen like that.
Oh man, dude! Sometimes I YouTube those. I YouTube old movie trailers, like Die Hard or like Demolition Man.
Yep.
Like coming soon in theaters.
Demolition Man's a
Explosion.
good example.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
A lot of explosions.
Good stuff right there.
lot of
Wesley
explosions.
Snipes.
Dude, so the other day I was playing. It's funny that you mentioned Demolition Man. I was playing Cyberpunk 2077 the other day, and there's like a ton of just references to like pop culture movies and stuff like that in there. 'Cause, I mean, it's set in the future. Obviously, it's the dystopian cyberpunk kind of future. Like this is its own genre, but there's been so many movies that like have that kind of setting in it that we grew up with.
Yeah.
And I was in the character you play as. I was in the bathroom, and I just like looked down at something. And right next to the toilet, there were seashells. I'm like, oh,
That's awesome.
like, oh, there are 3 seashells. Oh my god, they did it.
I fucking love
Never
that.
noticed it before. I've beaten the game like 3 times. No, 5 times now, and I just never noticed that little detail.
Wow. Did
Something
you
special.
see that one podcast that went over the theories about the 3 seashells?
No.
Yeah, where they said it's the 3 seashells was controls for a bidet, and that's what they were for.
Oh, like levers or something.
Yeah, like one was for like water, one was for drying, and one was for like
Normal inverse. What the fuck? Hey, Taco Bell won the franchise wars.
That is true.
They did.
Very true.
They did.
They needed the 3 seashells. If this is gonna work,
I always figured it was to scoop the shit out.
That's what I always assumed it
That's
was.
what I always
That's
thought.
assumed it was.
Disgusting.
Yep.
we either do the seashells or we get fucking night soil man again.
Oh. No. Okay, moving on. So, so today's topic. So I was watching a documentary the other day, and I don't know why we've never discussed this ever. And we haven't done World War II in a while either.
There's a lot more history than there is of us.
True.
So
True.
I think we can be forgiven.
Fair enough. But also, we haven't covered World War II in a while. Like, it's been a minute since we talked about anything involving World War II. And I mean, that's kind of like one of the big history topics that people kind of care about. Well, I mean, there's so many documentaries about it, so much knowledge about it. Is there another Hornet in there?
I swear to God. I swear to God.
Oh,
Looking out now.
I'll fucking blame John.
no, you should. And you should. Because nobody saw it except for him.
I don't care if he's not here. I will blame him.
That's fair. That's fair. I left that window open. So I'm like, man, I'm pretty sure there's no holes in that. It's fine.
No, that screen's fine. That one was questionable.
That one was quite, well, it was also nighttime, so we couldn't really
that too.
investigate thoroughly. I haven't seen one in here since.
I
though,
had a
so I
lot
think
of
we're
fun.
good.
I had a lot of fun re-listening to that, though. I will not lie. I forgot how many times I brought it back up just to tell John to fuck himself.
That's fair. I've been meaning to make a clip of it and make like a TikTok for it. I just haven't
I
had
have some
to.
ideas for that because it's so fucking funny.
Yeah, we'll have to discuss that one of these days. But anyways, we're moving on. So this week's episode, we're going to talk about the Battle of the Philippine Sea, aka the Mariana Turkey Shoot.
AKA Asian Duck Hunt.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Duck hunt with planes.
Peking duck. Well, that's Chinese.
It is, but still.
Close enough. They're right there. It's fine. So anyways, the Marianas island areas where this all takes place at. Let's start from the beginning, though. Obviously, World War II kicked off with Japan using the FAFO with boats. So Japan obviously attacked America. Pearl Harbor happened. Japan preemptively did a preemptive strike against America. They attacked us. We got into the war. Blah 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 blah. So geography wise, hopefully everybody knows Pacific Ocean is where this all takes place at.
It's a lot big something, bitch.
It is a lot of water. So I feel like a lot of, especially a lot of like history documentaries, history podcasts, a lot of them cover the war in Europe because everybody knows the war in Europe. Like, okay, yeah, obviously Nazis bad.
Yep.
Blah blah blah. Good guys America. Good guy here. You know, at the time, good guy Russia. Kind of there France and good guy Britain with a cigar. So this covers the other side of the war. So again, we were attacked first, obviously by Japan. This kicked off a massive arms race to make a bunch of boats to go fuck them up for fucking with our boats. It's
And
the
a
whole
bunch
thing.
of planes.
And a bunch of planes.
And a bunch of planes.
To then fuck with the boats that fucked with us. It's the whole thing. So fast forward a bit, 1943, 1944, the Navy's major push in the Pacific was to actually make it to the islands surrounding Japan. So Japan itself is an island. There's a bunch of islands around it. The goal of this whole endeavor was to get islands that were close enough to Japan to attack Japan.
Yeah.
So the goal is to make bases on these islands for resupply, to resupply the boats again, and to resupply bombers so bombers could actually hit Japan. We talked about one of the attacks briefly. I think we talked about Doolittle's raid once, and we also talked about the firebombing in Japan and Tokyo, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
So that this all happens to lead up to those. Oh, well, Doolittle's raid was separate, but to lead up to the fire attack in Japan, this kind of leads up to that point. So we're in the 1943, 1944 time frame. I do have an actual date for this battle because this battle in particular was very, very important because it set up we're already taking the island change, but this was the definitive battle that made it easier to do everything that happened afterwards. So like I mentioned before, this was really just there to gain airfields, shipyards, resupply places were for the troops. Pretty much just make everything easier to invade Japan. This is before the atom bomb was going to be thought of to be used. They were thinking ground war to invade Japan the entire time. So that's why they're doing this. The Mariana Island area. So people actually know where I'm talking about. Philippine Sea is where we're at. This is like the Tinian Islands, Saipan, Guam. This is that area of the ocean. Closer they are to Japan, better off they are. These islands were about 1,500 miles away from Japan, meaning the long range bombers at the time could make it to Japan and actually bomb them. So very, very important, very vital to the war effort. Enter one of the players. We got the American Fifth Fleet. They're the ones in charge of actually taking over these islands. Major player involved with this was Vice Admiral Mark Mitcher. This dude was in charge of the carriers. So he was not the man in charge of the fleet, but he had the carriers, which was a major part of this. There were 15 of them, 15 aircraft carriers, which I didn't realize there were that many.
Yeah. There was, because this is going to be, if I remember, this is going to be the largest naval battle in history.
It is.
Yeah. So a lot of boats.
A lot of boats.
A lot of boats.
Yeah, so, and also because Pearl Harbor, the Japanese again did a sneak attack, but they also didn't hit any other carriers. So
they hit the wrong boats. They hit the wrong boats in two ways.
True. Yeah, they definitely they did hit the wrong boats because you fucked with America's boats, and that's just a bad idea. And then for two, they missed all the carriers, which is
all the fuel, and I think the repair yards.
Yes, again.
Yeah, so like literally made a mess, just to get the shoe in a couple of months.
Yeah, this is
As
part.
DJ would put it.
They're going to get belt ass here very soon.
I'm just picturing like the fighter jet like shooting, and then the guy with the binoculars like looking like, did we get him?
No.
He's like, oh, I don't think we got him.
Your glasses don't make it any better. I never noticed how Hirohito you are until just now.
Honestly, the glasses are very similar to Hero Hero, so that's very true.
Very similar.
Oh, jeez.
DJ San.
This is nice for me. Yes,
As long as you're having a good time, dude.
yes. Carry on.
All right. So, like I mentioned before, there were 15 aircraft carriers. These carriers contain right around 1,000 airplanes on the carrier. So, again, a lot of boats, a lot of planes. This is leading up to like I said before, the biggest naval battle in history. This is also the biggest naval aircraft battle in history, and it's never been
approached.
Never again.
No,
never again. I mean, because it just logistically doesn't make sense anymore, but that's fine. So, like I said, 1,000 planes on these carriers. That number is important because we're going to get to Japan's here in a second. This is also the largest strike force ever assembled by America. So I didn't break down the amount of troops that were on these carriers as well, because we got Marines and Army on there too that are for the land invasions, plus the amount of supplies that it takes to supply that amount of people. Because again, they're island hopping, and these ships are there to supply the effort on land. So not only do you have the men, you also have the supplies to keep them fighting. So, ammunition, food, everything else you would think of that you would need, that was all with them as well. So lots and lots of boats were used for this. Now, on the other side, we have Japan. They had 9 aircraft carriers. The key figure for this, for the Japan side of the story, is Vice Admiral Ozawa. So this dude, a little bit older, but that's kind of like how the command structure for Japan was. Just an older guy, but he was also very experienced. Very, very good commander. We're going to get to that in a second. So his plan was, because he obviously knew the importance of these islands. Everybody knew how important these islands were. So Japan had reinforced every island. Every island's defenses were bolstered. They also had a navy there to protect the islands as well. So they knew that if they lost these islands, Japan was within striking distance. They didn't want that for obvious reasons. What Ozawa realized though was that, okay, America has a lot of boats. We have a little bit less boats, but our aircraft have a longer flight range. So, okay, cool. Here's what we do. We're gonna sit back, let them get closer, let them start the invasion, then we strike. All right. So, because the Japanese planes had a longer range, they had the islands underneath control, so they could actually not only launch planes from their aircraft carriers, they could also land them on the island to be resupplied, and then fly them out again. So they not only had aircraft carriers, they had airfields as well, and ways to resupply themselves so they can keep fighting. And they were planning a trap. So all these factors were really looking like Ozawa was gonna win. I thought you were about to say something.
No.
Okay.
So I'm gonna bring something up.
Sure.
If this thing stops, there we go. Should have done that, or should have thought to do this at home, collecting notes and everything.
Sure.
But D-Day compared to the Saipan landing, just for reference. And for record, I didn't think about doing this before, so I just went to ChatGPT. So this could be slightly off. I went here for a quick answer. Troops landed in Europe for D-Day, 156,000 first day.
Okay.
So 156,000. The Saipan landing, 71,000 U.S. troops. Now, we have to remember D-Day was U.S., British, and Canada. So, mixture of 3 nations. And then, let's see here, landing craft used at D-Day, 5,000 ships, including 4,000 landing craft. And Saipan landing, 300 ships, including 15 aircraft carriers. And everything. So yeah, I mean, it's still a big deal. I'm not trying to dwarf it, but trying to put it in scope.
Well, yeah, it's just one country versus several.
Yeah,
that were part of it. So yeah, again, like I said, big deal. So So going forward with still the Japanese side of things. So like I mentioned before, they had aircraft carriers, which they had 9 of those, 5 battleships, 13 cruisers, and over 400 planes on the aircraft carriers. They also had 450 planes on Guam that Ozawa was planning on using to help attack as well. So we have 1,000 planes on the American side, 850 on the Japanese side. Again, this is why this is the biggest battle between naval aircraft ever. So moving forward, we're coming to the point where the Saipan landing, like you just mentioned, was about to happen. Ozawa thinks that, okay, cool, we still have the element of surprise, we still have more, we have longer range aircraft. Let them start the landing. We'll attack them then, which makes sense. Strategy wise, I don't think he could have come up with a better plan. Mm-hmm. So because of the long range, he didn't expect to see any aircraft from America even close to where he was.
That's my, honestly, if I have a favorite part of the story, it's the beginning.
Oh,
where it's just, hello.
Hello there.
Continue. But yeah, if I have a favorite part, it's the beginning.
Yeah. So American invades Saipan. This is on June 15th of 1944. Just for, like you mentioned before, the scope of the amount of boats and the amount of troops that were landing. Well, just for example, within the first 2 days, America they had 4,000 casualties within 2 days of landing on this island.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, it was
the facts I left it out just because I figured we'd look at it later, but I came across 29,000 Japanese. So while our number was smaller in at least in this landing in Japan controlled area, mm-hmm. The Japanese casualties dwarfed the German casualties during D-Day. Or at least that first day. That was the one thing it didn't break down very well.
I see. Yeah. Which is true,
yeah, 29,000 to 4,000.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway.
Right. Goodness. Sorry. Anyway, so the overall commander of the American forces that were landing was Spruance. So because, again, the amount of casualties that they were facing, and because all of the resupplies they needed were on the boats that were still out sea off the beach, he wanted everybody to stay close to the beach, essentially. So all the aircraft carriers, all the battleships, everything was going to be close to not only protect them, but also to resupply the ground force. So they had heard, like, a scout plane came in and said, like, hey, buddy, there's like a whole ass Japanese fleet over here, right? Like, we should probably do something about that. Well, this was like, nah, that's bullshit, man. It's a hoax. This is obviously not accurate. It's not an accurate report. Everybody stay in your current positions. Do not go searching or don't go to attack the enemy. So obviously, playing right into Ozawa's plans, Vice Admiral Mitcher was very upset because he wanted to go and fight the enemy.
So, and just to interrupt a second, so the mm-hmm. reason it's important is because that's allowing Ozawa to decide how basically the length of the battlefield. Because you're not closing the distance, he gets to decide how close he wants to get to you. And I don't know if you're going to touch on this or not, but the Zeros have an extra 100 miles of range that our fighters didn't. Mm-hmm. So they could safely stay out of range of the fighters, let alone the guns, but out of range of our fighters. But while their fighters could get to us. At least on one pass.
Yeah. Right. And that in the pass, like I mentioned before, that's the longer range, the aircraft carriers, and they had actual airfields to land on. So they were able to not only come past and attack, resupply, and then do it again.
And they planned for it because in his orders, it was if you have mechanical difficulty or if you run out of gas, don't land here, land at the nearest strip. Mm-hmm. And then, fix yourself up there and then get back to the, so they planned on that.
Mm-hmm. So pretty much the idea was to continuously attack until they destroyed the American ships. So Mitcher was ordered to not go more than 200 miles away from the beach. So again, playing right into those was plans, it was going to be a bit of an issue. And Mitcher was pissed. So while the Japanese planes were en route to attack the Americans, they had a surprise.
While you're saying Mitcher was pissed, between the two of them, just for the sake of bringing it up, between the two of them, how do you say his? Spruance. I want to say Suins. Spruance. All of his experience came from battleships and destroyers and like classical Navy ship, ship stuff. Mitcher, he was the aviator out of the two. So he, not only was he an aviator, but he actually had carrier experience and a lot of it, like very well respected and everything, a lot of it. So that's where these two, I'm not going to say clash or anything because nothing's really documented that well, but there's definitely a split in mentality between the two.
Exactly.
Still very good leaders. I'm not, saying one way or the other, but it was a distinct difference between the two.
So the Japanese planes were en route to attack the American ships and ground forces. Well, they had a bit of a surprise. So they are on their way and they see American planes in the air. The Japanese had no idea that we had radar technology on our ships.
It's the carrots.
Yes.
It's my favorite line. Mainly because I was told it as a child.
That's fair.
Yeah. Were you guys? Did you guys get? Yeah. Carrots are, good for your night vision.
Oh, no.
You weren't told that when you were a kid?
No.
No? Just a sandal?
Yeah. Just the chunkla. The chunklito.
Yeah, no, that was the British propaganda, so Germans didn't find out about radar. It was like, our people eat a lot of carrots. Essentially, it's good for your night vision and everything, and that made it all the way up to little innocent Ben in the second grade and eat your carrots. This is why I don't trust vegetables.
That's fair.
Yeah, they haven't done shit for me.
That's about right.
They definitely didn't help me.
Nope, not even a little bit, man. I'm blind as well. Should not be trusted to drive at night. It's fine. So all the aircraft carriers were equipped with radar, and the Japanese had no idea. So when they launched all their planes to come, they didn't launch them all, but then when they launched planes to come and attack, well, they saw it coming. So they were to get their planes ready, launch their planes, meet them in the air.
I feel like it's probably how Will Smith's character felt in Independence Day when it just opened up and all of a sudden all the alien fighters. Yeah. Shit.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, I pulled up some stuff on ChatGPT and it said the kill ratio was 10-1.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's like, what the fuck?
I'm gonna get there.
There's a couple interesting stats later on.
Yeah, and actually I didn't write down a lot of those stats, so I'm gonna have to rely on you for that part.
Actually, now that I think about it, wasn't Will Smith's buddy named Jimmy in that movie?
Jimmy!
I think it might have been.
Jimmy! Let's hug my monkey. Jimmy the monkey.
R.I.P.
For real.
Yep. Good real one.
Yeah, he was a real one.
Rest in cigarette smoke in heaven.
So yeah, Japanese weren't aware of the radar. American planes were able to meet them before the attack actually started. The ambush was ruined. Sucks to suck.
Ruined.
Oh. Obviously.
Great dishonor.
We're gonna get to that.
Good point.
We are gonna get to that. So here's the issue. So like you just said, 10-1 kill ratio or shoot-down ratio. That was because of a fundamental problem with the Japanese philosophy at the time. Like the pseudo Bushido bullshit they were pushing on their people made them want to of course, be warriors, but then die an honorable death. So on the American side, you had a pilot. Okay, like this dude's been up there killing it. Obviously, he's a great pilot. We should probably rotate him back, let him train new pilots, let him give him a break, from being in battle every day. The Japanese side, their best pilots were just constantly flying and constantly dying.
I'm glad you brought that up because I had that specifically written down. If we're going to talk about it, it's just the chasm between logics.
Yeah,
on
there's one American pilot, Lieutenant Alex Raciu, they said, who shot down 6 Japanese dive bombers in 8 minutes.
Yeah, there's a picture of him doing this.
Yeah, he's the guy. If you see a picture of a guy like that,
he's from Chicago, which makes it even better.
Yeah, there's two. This is one of the ones I was going to bring up. There's two in this battle that become aces in this battle.
That's not now he's from Chicago. That makes it like you motherfucker. Just
Obviously, that's exactly what happened. You ketchup eating sons of bitches. So yeah, I am going to get to that too. So, like I mentioned, so essentially the like you said, the chasm of skill between the American pilots and Japanese pilots was vast.
Well, and the logic, that's really what I was honing in on.
I'm sorry, yeah, it's logic too,
that was my main thing is like, at least in the States, say what you will, but at least in the States, like, oh, this guy's awesome, or even this unit or whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay, they're going to finish their tour, and now we're going to bring them back to the States. You're going to teach everybody else,
right?
Because you're dangerous. So you're going to teach everybody else,
right,
to be a red-blooded killing machine, and we're going to have more red-blooded killing machines, slightly diluted, but more red-blooded killing machines.
But yeah,
but exactly, versus like, hey, everybody get behind the good guy, and he's dead.
Exactly,
and that was what Japan.
And
was.
It just kept happening.
The glasses.
The fact that Hirohito was kept in the dark for most of this too, which just makes it so much better.
And this guy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about, and like I couldn't believe that one. Like I really thought it was only the Germans.
Nope.
Hirohito, I know, but as far as military command, I really thought I really thought it was only the Germans.
Right. I'm gonna get to that
anyway.
Definitely gonna get to that. So, where was I here? So yeah, vast skill difference. Obviously, the 10-to-1 ratio that you mentioned, vast because of the skill issue. So, like you just said, there were two pilots that became aces in this battle. But the thing that you didn't mention about them was that it happened on their first sortie. So the first time they went up there,
you're right. I forgot about that part.
So it wasn't like they kept like landing and flying on back.
We went up boys and we came back men. He just goes up there, clean shaven, wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, comes back with a 5 o'clock shadow.
I can't fit him in.
Cigar. I've seen some shit. It'll change you. The clouds are talking. I don't mean to mock.
I've seen the sunrise over Tokyo. So yeah, like it was just their first sortie. So in order to become an ace, you have to shoot down 5 planes. And it has to be confirmed by somebody else. There has to be like a witness to it, essentially. So, like you just said, the one dude got 6. He was from Chicago. There is an infamous picture of him actually holding up.
Oh, and he's smiling. That's a great picture.
It is a good picture.
It's a great picture.
The other dude, I'm not sure where he's from, but the Chicago part stuck out. So I'm going to leave that. I'm definitely going to make a note of that. So that was just an example of a few of just the ratio and just how bad it was for the Japanese getting their asses kicked,
especially this late in the war. And as it was all bad.
Can you even just like, if you're up in the air and you're one of those pilots who's not that good, but you're watching all your fucking buddies just get devastated, can you just fly back?
Great dishonor.
Just be like,
I mean, okay, so
I think I need more training.
Let me answer that with this, because I don't have a great answer for what you asked, but let's put it into context. So the thing that was happening on the ground in Saipan, I'm not entirely sure of the timeline here, so forgive me, but when Americans landed in Saipan, everything's all said and done, and we're pushing forward and whatnot. You're dealing with a culture at the time, that believed in all the things it was believing in at the time so much, and their own propaganda, that they were literally throwing their own kids off the cliffs.
I'm going to get there.
Yeah. And turning around. No.
Yeah, I want to cover that.
Yeah, they're gonna do.
Okay, that makes sense.
What they're told to do.
And again,
it's
great
wild.
dishonor.
That sucks.
It's wild.
Indeed.
Just up there crying and fucking flying.
It sucks.
That's how emo music was invented.
Yeah, and also just for another example, like you mentioned the people that were on the ground in Saipan, but like even for the pilots, like if you were to not complete your mission, or if you were to like say like you were a kamikaze pilot and you didn't do it.
Yeah.
There was obviously you bring shame upon yourself, but also upon your family, and there were consequences to your family if you didn't do it.
Damn,
So, and that's the thing. The kamikaze one for sure. I wasn't so sure how to answer it about regular pilots.
You're like, this sucks. I'm going home. Yeah,
like
no, you ain't going home, dog. Put your ass out there.
Yeah, or not. I mean, even adopting the live to fight another day strategy.
They didn't have that.
No, I know, but kamikaze versus normal pilot, I don't really know how that was handled. Comparatively,
but essentially there were penalties to you and your family. Like you weren't just up there fighting for yourself; you were fighting for your family as well. So
you
like,
fly or die,
the emperor, the sun. You got to remember, the emperor is a god.
Yeah. A god that was nearsighted. Anyway, first, literally look up a picture of him. Like he has the same glasses as you. I'm not joking about that. Like
he looks like Himmler. I wasn't lying when I said it in that fucking Isaac episode.
It's true.
Like it's so messed up how little Aryan Himmler was.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. So the reason why it was called the Mariana turkey shoot is because a pilot said it was just like shooting turkeys out there. It was just that.
I think it's the same guy.
It might have been.
If I remember right, it's the same guy that shot down 6.
It might have been.
Yeah.
Because they're just out there just talking shit at that point.
Yeah.
Again, he's from Chicago. I get it. Like just talking mad shit. I'm it's fine. It's fine. So in total, like just for context number wise, the Japanese launched 373 planes. 243 of them were shot down.
Ooh. Yeah.
That's a thorough ass kicking.
God damn. That is a fucking can whoop ass right there.
As the kids say, that's belt ass. Mm-hmm. Like, that's
the American chancla.
They touch the boats. It's like when your mom tells you not to go in her room and you do.
Exactly.
Get your ass beat. Don't go on my purse. Okay.
It was bad.
It was really bad. So because this is also the biggest air battle in history, this is also the most planes ever lost in history.
Yep.
In a battle. So there's that. Thanks, Japan, for breaking that record. You're doing great. So to add insult to injury,
it's just hilarious that we ended up driving Mitsubishis later.
I never have.
Yeah. Well, no, as a society.
He does.
Oh, you drive the fuck out of
it. Yeah, I forgot. You do have a Mitsubishi. They're the ones that made the Zero.
Yeah.
They're the ones that made these planes.
Yeah, your car has a rich history.
Yeah, nice. Mitsubishi is the one that bombed Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Don't give me hope for that car. Don't give me any kind of fucking
I wasn't trying to label it as a point of pride. I was saying that you actually bought a matching car for your fucking glasses.
Oh, okay.
It's true.
Yeah,
that is true. I actually wanted to do a history on car brands, and Mitsubishi was on that list.
Well, there's a lot that would be fun.
There's a lot going on with them. They're actually still trying to combine with Honda last time I checked, but
was that Mitsubishi?
Nissan and Mitsubishi.
Oh, I thought it was just Nissan.
No, Mitsubishi hopped on that train too.
Okay.
Like, wait, guys, come on.
No, I mean they should because honestly, I can't. Other than DJ, I can't remember the last time I remember seeing a Mitsubishi.
I've seen the abomination that is the Eclipse that they made, which is that crossover bullshit.
But like just like on the road driving around, like they've really fallen off compared to like when we were in high school.
Yeah, they were actually really cool when we were in high school,
but around.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But, excuse me. I had that burp stuck in there for a while. Thank you. Okay. We ready?
Mm-hmm. Okay, you get one more of those.
Okay.
Or I'm going to kick your boats.
So to add insult to injury, like I said, the 243 planes were already shot down. To add insult to injury, as I mentioned before, the carriers were told to stay within 200 miles of the beach. They couldn't move. That didn't even mean shit to the submarines, though. So 2 American submarines found this fleet.
Oh, hell yeah.
So Ozawa was out there kicking it like, okay, well, we may have suffered a loss, but we still have, we have...
he was on the deck going, throwing his binoculars down, going, could this day get any worse? Bam! Fuck!
We're gonna, so essentially what had happened was, and I forgot to mention this earlier, but Ozawa's flagship, though, so where he was doing his commanding from was another aircraft, or aircraft carrier.
The newest.
And it was the newest. It was the newest aircraft carrier that Japan had just made. So he was on this brand spanking new aircraft carrier, giving orders and failing. His pilots were failing.
Yeah.
And, so... two submarines find this fleet, and they sink the fucking aircraft carrier that he's on.
Yeah.
We unmade it.
Yeah, it did not last long.
It's like, I know this song didn't come out then, but this is what I imagine what was playing like just the entire time. Just like in the submarine, just
it's underwater.
Through the microphone, it kind of sounds like it's underwater.
Yeah, actually, it's really fitting.
It sounds like it's kind of getting further away.
All you just see is the periscope, and it just
fight for your right.
There's one Japanese sailor going, I'll never let go. Let go, we're sinking.
So they sank the carrier that Ozawa was on. They also sank another one as well. So he lost 2 carriers and then a bunch of planes. Ozawa was just having a bad day.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, okay, man, like my plan might not have worked the first time, but I still have a whole other reserve of other airplanes. I'll be fine.
Plot twist.
They're all dead.
Until it wasn't. So, 30 planes from the American fleet decided were sent on a detachment to go to Guam and attack that airfield. And they fucked it up.
Yeah. The planes, the airfield.
So essentially what they did was they not only destroyed the planes that were on the ground, not all of them, but a good amount of them, they destroyed the actual runway. So planes couldn't land or take off from that airfield.
They cratered it. You remember what Daly did to Mixed Field?
Jeez.
God damn.
Accurate.
That was this, but with bombs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yep, that's pretty much it. Like, imagine you're driving through the south side. Just potholes as far as the eye can see.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Well, you remember the X's. Yeah, and whatnot.
Yeah.
That whole spiel.
Yeah, so 30 planes went and fucked up Ozawa's reserves. The problem was nobody decided to sell Ozawa.
They're all dead. That's what happened.
There are a few left.
But
Radio.
But he's counting on these.
Exactly.
Like he's okay, we can handle this loss. I have. Oh my god. What happened?
Oh
no.
Carol, you don't like this.
So, because of fear,
We're gonna get canceled
again. Honestly, we've done so many stupid ass accents. I doubt it. It's fine. It's probably not fine. It's probably not fine at all.
Fine.
But
if the only thing I lose is my ability to run for public office, I've lived a good life.
That's fine. I really don't want that job anyways. So throw that here. Oh, yeah. So because they were so afraid to tell Ozawa bad news, they didn't.
In their defense, it's been nothing but bad news.
True.
At some point, they're probably he's going to kill himself. Let's just leave it.
Yeah, it's like we got to fucking tell the boss. He's like, I would rather die. Fuck him.
Well,
he's on his own.
Well, here's a sword.
Yeah. Fucking seppuku, all right?
So also because Admiral Ozawa, just a side note, was also and I'm pretty sure the average height for the Japanese by then was 5'5" to 5'6". Ozawa was 6'7".
Yeah, he was like a giant. I forgot about that.
Fuck, man.
So yeah, you really didn't want to give him bad news.
Yeah, he was a giant. And they all called him ugly.
They did. I forgot about that
For
part.
whatever reason, that came up, is they all called him ugly.
I gotta look at a picture of this guy.
He didn't look. He looks
fine, I guess.
atypical or anything. Like, he just looked like a regular person.
Right. Yeah, the regular dude, really. But
So I don't know. It's yeah. It was like I just remembered that.
right. So to further add insult to injury, so not only did Ozawa not know about any his planes, his reserve planes being destroyed and his plan being completely destroyed, Mitchell was also then allowed to leave the beach. So that 200 mile limit that he had was taken away. He was actually able to then go and attack the fleet, which he did. So he launched a bunch of planes. The thing is that this plan of Mitchell's was all right, The problem is though is that they were still too far away. So as I mentioned earlier, Japanese planes had a far longer range. The American planes did not have that. They still launched planes to go and attack them, knowing that they might not make it back, just due to fuel range. It's just you might have just enough to make it back to the ship. So we're gonna get. I'm moving on to that too. So. They did go attack the fleet. They damaged a lot of ships. They didn't sink that many though. I don't think they only sank maybe 2, but a lot of the ships that were out there were damaged. So Ozawa has now lost a assload of planes, a few carriers, all the reserve planes, and then just got attacked by Americans too. So Ozawa's just having a bad day, man.
Mm-hmm. It's not looking, and he's pretty ugly. That's true.
I mean. It just looks like a guy.
Looks like a skeleton.
I mean, but
he looks like a fucking.
Everybody did back then. Trans fats weren't invented yet.
But 6'7" this.
Well, yeah, I mean 6'7" in a place that you're not supposed to be 6'7".
Yeah, that's.
Behemoth.
And also imagine that walking at you. It probably looks like Slender Man coming through the bulkheads in a ship.
Yeah.
I just thought of that.
Ducking underneath the door.
Like, you remember the really tall guy crammed into the Beetle on The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
absolutely.
guy. Yeah. His fucking comical legs coming out.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. So, again, Mitchell ordered to attack. The planes were did what they were supposed to. They did attack. They were on the way back. And as I mentioned before, because of the fuel range issue, a lot of them lost fuel in midair or while they were landing. So I have the figures for that. 34 men were lost. 70 aircraft were lost. So the reason for that is it was starting to get later in the day. Sun was starting to go down. Mitcher being like Ben mentioned, having all that experience, having the respect of his men, being a man that the men were able to trust, he turned all the lights on all the carriers. So this is almost nighttime. And imagine you're in the middle of the dark ass ocean. They turned on all the spotlights so that the pilots can actually see and make their way back.
But expose themselves to danger.
Exactly. So you just pretty much turn on a big old light that said, I'm here, you can kill me.
But also after the events of the day, it's also saying, try me.
Honestly, fuck around and find out
what
again.
else do you got? And it's, I don't think we mentioned the 2 oilers were sunk by the submarines also.
Yeah, I forgot.
So they lost their fuel in this as well.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, dude, those albums had a bad fucking day.
I forgot I jotted that down because that was sunk by submarines. The Shokaku was sunk by a submarine, and then the Hayo sunk by torpedoes from an aircraft. And because there was a total of 3 carriers, I forget when the third one.
I think that was during this attack.
The third?
I think so.
Okay, I thought it was maybe a different day. I couldn't remember. And that one was damaged, later sunk at the Battle of Leyte Gulf or Leyte Gulf. I don't know.
I think it's Lady.
Yeah, I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, again, Ozawa just had a bad day. He's had a real bad day. So like I mentioned before, started getting late. A lot of the planes were falling out of the sky because just out of fuel. But only losing 34 men, given that situation, is actually pretty impressive. And a lot of the pilots were bailing out of their craft or landing on the water and then bailing out. So the fact that they were able to fish a lot of these guys out of the water too.
Landing really hard too.
Well, yeah, because you don't have any gas.
Some of them video
ain't got no gas in it.
My God.
So yeah, it was just really cool. Again, having an admiral that you can rely on to actually have your back and actually look for you. Yeah. Because again, like I mentioned earlier, the difference in skill between Japanese pilots and American pilots, Japanese wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
So they would have lost more pilots because they didn't look for them.
and that is what happened. That literally is what happened because plenty of them went down and they were never searched for.
Man, that's gotta suck. Fucking having to eject from your seat or getting shot down at night.
Well, there is no eject in this day and time.
Yeah,
you're going in.
Oh,
if you would try to do a water landing and because your plane would float for a little bit, a few moments, long enough for you to get out of your seat and get out.
Get eaten by a
and you have on their
giant squid or something
on their flight uniforms, they had
life vest,
yeah, life preservers, and I think they had little boats in there.
Some of them had little boats.
I bet you that's why they invented Godzilla after that battle.
It was the atomic bomb. It's very well documented.
Indeed.
Like they got their asses kicked like so bad they were like
They invented a lizard.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that. The last, I don't know, was that the last Godzilla movie? The one that won a bunch of awards, Godzilla -1?
I haven't seen it yet, so I couldn't tell
It
you.
is on Netflix.
Yeah, my nephew, my 11-year-old nephew was the one that was going, you got to watch this.
I agree with your nephew. You got to watch this. It's really good.
you gotta watch
I hold his opinion to a high esteem.
you gotta
He's
watch
right. It's a good one.
you gotta watch the fight scenes from the 1960s Godzilla versus
Well, I've
King Kong.
seen those.
Those are fucking hilarious.
It's top tier
They're
entertainment, man.
So
Yeah, we wouldn't have the Power Rangers if it wasn't for that shit.
Oh my god.
So, but the reason why I brought up Godzilla -1 is because it does happen at the end of World War II. That's when it takes place.
Okay.
And one of the main characters is a kamikaze pilot that didn't do a kamikaze.
I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that.
See, that's why I was making the Godzilla reference because I know the atomic bomb thing, but like he comes from the water, so that's why I was like they were like they destroyed Japan's naval fleet.
Yeah, it wasn't the U.S. It was Godzilla.
They replaced it with Godzilla.
I mean, I guess it's way less dishonorable to lose to a giant sea monster than America.
It would match the rest of their propaganda.
Yeah.
Honestly,
During
though.
the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, there's a giant gulf though between. Say what you will about both, but whatever. There's for a fact there's a giant gulf between how the Axis powers as a whole viewed their people and how the Allies, specifically us, viewed ours, and are a resource to be taken care of or a resource to be used.
Right. That is well documented too.
Yes.
So going on to that, actually, I'm going to move on to because that pretty much covers the naval battle part of this. I'm going to briefly touch on what happened on Saipan because obviously the island was eventually captured by the Americans. But before that, though, you touched on this earlier when we were talking about the propaganda, the unshakable faith that the Japanese citizens had in their emperor and their military and all the propaganda they were being fed.
Yeah.
So the propaganda for the citizens were telling them like, do not get captured by Americans. They will do horrible, horrible things to you that I am not going to say on the internet.
Yeah.
So
you can fill in the blanks.
Honestly,
standard wartime crimes. You can fill in the blanks.
pretty much.
Yeah.
So a lot of that caused, and you've probably even seen videos of this, like where you have like women and children like jumping off of a cliff into the water. Yeah. That was Saipan. That's where this all happened at. So where you have civilians, women killing their children, killing their babies,
bashing them against rocks,
and then jumping off of a cliff, or husbands killing their wives. Just so that they don't get captured by the Americans. That all happened here.
That's insane.
Hiding in a cave that was going to get sealed up. People begging them, come out, because we can't leave this cave and turn our backs on it. Turn an entire battalion of our troops backs to a cave. That's suicide. And everything. So there's soldiers and Japanese soldiers, and they're essentially hiding behind these families, and they got to seal up the cave. And they won't come out, whether they don't want to, they weren't allowed to, whatever. All sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah, so a lot of civilian casualties happen here. I believe the one documentary I was watching actually about this had said that the Americans were approaching a woman, and she had thrown her baby off a cliff, and then she was going to do it herself, but they stopped her. Then she got escorted back to the rear of the line. And all the rumors that they were told were false. And they said that you can actually see where the woman's mind just broke.
That's
where she realized.
Could you imagine being the American soldier? Be like, hey, all right. She's like, oh, they're like, whoa, hold on. What the fuck, man? Don't do that.
Were you watching World War II in color?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, that's the one I was watching.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Yeah, good stuff. So, but that illustrates essentially what the mind of the citizens were at this time. It was, again, a lot of propaganda, and all of it, well, obviously, at least most of it wasn't true.
Yeah, to be willing to do that, that's fucking...
and then the guy that was in charge of Saipan before
that would be General Saito.
Yes. Lieutenant General Yoshitsugu Saito.
Fantastic.
He committed seppuku in a cave. But right before basically demanding all of his troops bonsai charge the Americans. And I don't have the figures on that part of the battle. I was more focused on the air and water, or those battles.
Right.
But actually, I do have the estimate for the suicides though. Estimates suggest that around 1,000 civilians died by suicide during the final days of the Battle of Saipan.
Oh, wow.
So about a third of 9/11. Actually, that's Jonestown.
Yeah.
That's Jonestown right there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Due to lies. But yeah, and then like I said, the guy basically said, hey, the Americans are coming. I'm gonna go die in a cave, so you guys go die over there.
Pretty much. And that's just, like, again, the fanatical nature of, and it's unfortunate because that was the time that they were in, but the fanatical nature of these people who believe their leader to not only be a god, but to be infallible. So, like, you had this faith in a person, and it was so ingrained in them that they would do whatever.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's, like, insane. That's like what... Like you imagine North Korea is like now.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that,
North Korea is probably tenfold.
Yeah.
If North Korea could feed itself, it would be a real danger.
Yeah.
Remember when they tried to launch that nuke and it just fell in the ocean?
Not that I don't feel for the people there. I do. I feel very sorry for them. But not to poke at their plight, but
sure.
If that country could ever feed themselves, oh my God.
Yeah. So on that depressing note,
where were you when Kim Jong-il died?
So I mean, that's all the information I really have for this episode. It's a lot happened.
No, it's a big deal.
But essentially, the point of this story though is that all of these battles led up to pretty much the bombing of Japan at the end of the war. So this was just really just the last big naval engagement before that happened. And
their guy,
Ozawa?
Yeah, Ozawa.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. So
he wanted to resign.
He did want to retire.
Yeah.
Resign.
Yeah, resign.
I mean,
like disgraced.
It's like, dude, no.
And they
get your ass back out there.
And because it's all in all, the stuff that he didn't know that the Americans had.
True.
That we had and everything else. He did actually do his job correctly. He just didn't know that he was fighting an enemy that had kind of quietly gone into the next generation.
Yeah.
With radar, and hell, the Hellcat was invented right here too. The Hellcat fighter.
Right.
And a whole bunch of stuff changed. So I mean, as far as doing his job, he did his job correctly.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't, their technology just wasn't up to the task, and it wasn't really his fault.
True. And also Japanese generals, admirals, they always had these like crazy elaborate plans, which is interesting when you think back on it. But like, you look at the Battle of Midway and how they had okay, this has to be here, this has to be here, but the timing all had to be perfect.
Right.
And if it wasn't, well, we know what happened. So
it'd be interesting to see what would happen here if Midway had gone any different, though.
Well, they shouldn't have been spying on us about our toilet.
Yeah. No, I know. But
a broken toilet saved the day, and I'm gonna die on that hill.
It's always the little stuff. But if Midway had gone different, it'd be interesting to see how. I mean, I'm glad we won and we lost as few people as we could.
My Japanese is not good,
but it wouldn't have gone that way. But because the battle happened this way because Midway happened the way it did.
Yeah, but again, that's why I mentioned it, because of the elaborate the complexities of the ideas of the admiral, of both admirals at this point. So
I'm just talking from losses.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Is the losses already incurred in Midway, and then you had this in the future,
right,
and
that's
everything.
fair.
Yeah, I'm just talking from the numbers aspect.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Well, that's all I had to say about this.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah,
I think we did a good job, and I think DJ was here.
Yep, we fucking nailed it. Anyways, all right. Well, I'm gonna wrap this bad boy up. You got the remote, DJ. All right, perfect. Anyways, so if you guys made it this far in the episode, we appreciate you giving us a listen to. Once again, thank you for giving us the support all these years. We do appreciate it. Give us a like, give us a share. Check out our website, requiredtastepodcast.com. We have our merch there. We have our videos, and we have our audio there. Like I said, give us a share. And give us a rating too, by the way. If you have us on your listening services, rate us on there. It does help us out. Leave a comment. We will read those. And that's about it. That'll be cool.
Thanks, guys.